you guys ready for a revolution? How about clean water? Can you survive off of 725? 1010?
No!
1050?
No! Keep going!
We need to go higher? What kind of wage do we want?
50!
What do we want?
50!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
50!
When do we want it?
Now!
All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
50 now!
Welcome back. How were those workshops and plenaries? Did you guys learn something? And welcome to our new guests. I see some new faces here. I'm Misty Rebick, and I am a proud and loud Iowa CCI Action member. This has been an incredible day. So far we've heard from Alicia Garza, we've heard from other movers and shakers from across the country. For those of us who are obsessed with creating the world that we want to live in, it's been food for our soul, food for our minds, and food for this journey that we're all on together to create social justice. But guess what? The revolution doesn't stop here. We are just starting, aren't we? So really quick, I want you to take a look at your programs, because Iowa CCI is not just about getting together one time a year. We get together almost every week, and we are taking action in every corner of the state. So you will find a sheet here with upcoming events. Are you guys ready to go take some action and win? So Alicia Garza this morning, in response to a question, she said, you know, don't worry about how long it's going to take for change. Instead, you need to worry about how many people you bring with you. Have you guys brought anybody with you today? Like I said, I see a lot of new faces, and so I need your help in letting our comrades know what CCI is all about. Sometimes we speak from mics like this, but most of the time what we're actually doing is we're getting people involved, engaged, and inspired to act. In our world at CCI, ACT stands for Action Changes Things. We got a lot to change. So I'm going to need your participation and involvement. Can you guys do that for me?
Yeah.
So if you're able to, I'd like you to stand up. You guys familiar with the people's mic? You know what that is? All right. I want you to turn to your neighbor, and I want you to repeat after me. I see you. You are powerful. Doesn't that feel good? That's what we want, right? We want people to see us for who we are and the values that we contribute. Are you ready to pump up this people's mic?
Yeah.
All right, repeat after me. We are workers.
We are workers.
We are dreamers.
We are dreamers.
We are water warriors.
We are water warriors.
We are healthcare fighters.
We are healthcare fighters.
We dismantle racism.
We dismantle racism.
We dismantle patriarchy.
We dismantle patriarchy.
We collaborate.
We collaborate.
We are the leaders we've been waiting for.
We are the leaders we've been waiting for.
The political revolution isn't one person.
The political revolution is not one person.
It's you.
It's you.
It's me.
It's me.
It's we.
It's me.
We all do better when we all do better.
We all do better when we all do better.
We are the engine of justice and democracy.
We are the engine of justice and democracy.
We organize.
We organize.
We resist.
We resist.
We build power.
We build power.
Sí se puede.
Sí se puede.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
All right, you guys are really good participants. You guys can take a seat if you want. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about myself. So I joined CCI, our sister organization, almost 9 years ago. In fact, our executive director, Hugh Espy, hired me to be an organizer before I even knew what organizing was. Yet, you know, what I did know is I knew that when I looked around in my community, something wasn't right. I saw my mother, who'd been working in a meatpacking factory in rural Iowa for 25 years, still only making $11 an hour. I saw immigrant workers working on roofs and falling off, and no one was helping them take care of their bodies. I saw my small farmers who were neighbors who were being threatened by large corporate ag wanting to sell their farms out from underneath them. And I was a first generation college student working 3 jobs, just barely getting by. And I was scared. I was intimidated to speak out. I thought elected officials had the high morality and knew more about life than I did. I thought I had to ask for permission. And I was terrified of public speaking. So fast forward 9 years later, and here's what I've done with CCI. I've helped recover tens and thousands of dollars in unpaid wages for workers. We fought back against racist police policies. We organized to keep immigration and customs enforcement out of our communities. We passed ordinances to raise the minimum wage. And we stopped hundreds of factory farms. And guess what? We didn't ask for permission. So Alicia Garza told us this morning that one of the best ways to be effective is to be a part of an organization. CCI is leading the narrative on our issues. Our political analysis, you guys already said it, is that when we do better, we all do better. We know that it's not enough to just elect Democrats. We have to build power by resisting the attacks in our communities. We do that by organizing, training ourselves, by creating good strategy, by having a tool belt filled with different tactics, and by aligning ourselves with an organization that has staying power, like Iowa CCI Action. Well, we know to fix the problems in this country, we need more people, we need more members, we need more justice fighters, and it's up to us to change the public debate. And that's what CCI members are doing all across the state. We are fighting back and we are winning. So please help me welcome some of my fellow justice fighters to the stage. Come on up, guys. Are you guys ready to hear about the victories happening all across Iowa? So, how many of you heard about the Dakota Access Pipeline? Yeah, boo, right? So I'm going to invite Heather Pearson up here to tell us what we've been doing to keep that oil out.
Hello, folks. How you doing today? My name is Heather Pearson, and I'm a proud member of CCI Action. I grew up in Omaha, Nebraska, and moved to a 25-acre farm in rural Logan, Iowa, population 1,747. Shortly after I moved to Logan, I found out that Dakota Access wanted to bisect our state with the crude oil export pipeline. So, as she said, I'm sure everyone here has heard of the Dakota Access Pipeline, right? In Iowa, we told them, we don't want it, shut it down! 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 That's what we said. Now, this single issue brought people from all sides of the spectrum together to fight a common enemy. We knew that a majority of the people did not want this pipeline for many reasons. So if we connected their self-interest to our larger people and planet first vision, we could expand our base, educate them, and empower them to get involved and make their voices heard. Now, whether it was stealing farmland through eminent domain, trampling indigenous sovereignty rights, risking watersheds that provide drinking water for over 16 million people, or exacerbating climate change by continuing to extract fossil fuels from our earth, we knew that we did not want this pipeline. We were all on the same side. It was us versus the greedy oil company. We used every method of peaceful resistance that we could think of, including risking arrest. We asked Iowans to take a pledge of resistance, and over 2,500 people signed up to take a stand against this pipeline. For many, this was their first act of civil disobedience, myself included. You see, I am an example of activating rural Iowans through bold campaigns. That's right. Now, it breaks my heart to say that oil is flowing through the Dakota Access Pipeline. But through this bold issue campaign, we became stronger than ever. We have more people involved. We have more CCI Action members. We have more power. And I believe in the power of grassroots movements. When I say people, you say power. People. Power. People. Power. People. Power. Woo!
All right. How do you guys like that CCI fierce attitude?
That's right. Now that's what this is all about. We are building the power that we need to take control of our futures. And our fight to stop the Dakota Access Pipeline put us in a position to transition our pipeline fighter activists to run campaigns for 100% renewable energy and to run our members for key political offices. We can take control of our communities. We can build power in rural Iowa, but it's not going to be with partisan, business as usual, establishment politics. Are you ready to fight for a 100% clean energy Iowa? Are you ready to stand up to big oil and say enough is enough? Are you ready to stand up for our life-sustaining waterways? Say it with me, folks. Water is life! Water is life! Water is life! Water is life! Thank you.
Thank you, Heather.
Ready, McConnell!
Now, we've been fighting the pipeline, but we've been busy doing lots of other things too. And we already said it today. Do you guys believe in building a wall? Or a ban not allowing people into this country?
No.
We say no ban, no wall, right?
Right.
That's why we have Pastor Ryan Arnold here to talk to us about the work we've been doing for immigrants in our community.
From my religious tradition, we heed the teachings of St. Paul, who writing to the church in Rome said, "Let your love be genuine. Extend hospitality to the immigrant." In the Hebrew scriptures, we hear that repeated refrain, "Care for the widow, the orphan, and the immigrant in your midst." My Muslim friends tell me of how the Prophet Muhammad likened himself to a traveler who journeyed and found rest under a shade of a tree and then continued on. Immigrants, they said, should be treated with the same hospitality as the Prophet Muhammad, finding many places of safe refuge in Allah's abundant creation. So too, my Hindu, Sikh, and Buddhist friends, their religion, their spirituality, their faith insist on hospitality. Likewise, this is what I hear from atheists and agnostics and people of no affiliation at all. We human beings know the absolute imperative of love thy neighbor. Our faiths, beautifully diverse, reinforce the inherent human need for hospitality, to give and to receive safe, healthy welcome. And our faiths provide us with the language to name its opposite. When our foreign policy pads the coffers of corporations at the cost of human beings, when our prejudiced immigration system functions to serve wealth and white, when our president vomits putrid hatred peddling white supremacy to gain power. When our Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency mercilessly tears apart families, my friends, my faith has a word for it. It's called sin. It is a sin that my immigrant neighbors, and let me be more specific, because only one of our nation's borders supposedly needs a wall. It is a sin that my brown, Latino, immigrant neighbors live in fear and indignity. But we who know the power of love living in our hearts, we know that shining the light of love upon the shadowy sins of our racist society liberates those who live with their backs against the wall. This is the power of the people. We listen, we educate, and we organize. Through welcoming city initiatives, we hold local law enforcement accountable to their vocation to protect and serve all residents, all people. Through affirming our faith communities and schools as sanctuaries, we join hands with the persecuted, demanding justice because they can't arrest us all. And through creating hotlines like La Resistance, we listen and respond to the needs of the most vulnerable. My friends, we may live in the land of deep darkness, but the darkness does not overcome us. Now is the time. Now is the time. We are turning protest into power.
Thank you, Pastor Ryan. Do you guys want clean water in Iowa? They dump it. Who drinks it? We drink it. They dump it. Who swims in it? We swim in it. So Sheree Ortiz is going to talk to us about how we've been fighting factory farms.
Good afternoon. Glad to see everybody again. My name is Sheree Ortiz, and I am a member of Iowa CCI, and I'm a member of the Iowa CCI Clean Water Leadership Team. You know, I've been a Des Moines Waterworks ratepayer for over 30 years, and I used to take clean drinking water and safe drinking water for granted. Not anymore. Voluntary compliance to the Clean Water Act has been a disaster. And we have 750 polluted water bodies in this state, and that is shameful. Delivering safe drinking water to 500,000 people has been a feat of colossal proportion. But that is exactly what Des Moines Waterworks does for us day in and day out. But suddenly, during the last legislative session this last winter, we were faced with a proposal presented in the Iowa legislature by a contract industrial hog producer that lives 100 miles away from Des Moines, and the proposal was to dismantle Des Moines Waterworks. Many people saw this for what it was. This did not come from ratepayers. It did not come from customers in the metro region. This was retribution for the lawsuit launched by the director of Des Moines Waterworks, General Manager Bill Stowe, against the drainage districts north of us, sending polluted water downstream that requires us to bear the burden and cost to clean it up. Is that fair? No! And of course, the Farm Bureau, the Partnership for Clean Water, and all the commodity groups that pump money into Big Ag by our legislators, they were involved in the propaganda surrounding this attempt to hijack local control away from us. But our water leadership team, we quickly mobilized. We had a strategic, targeted response carried out by our local clean water fighters and CCI members that countered that attack. And with the help of Senate Democrat leader Rob Hogue and House Democrat Todd Pritchard, we were able to get a public hearing at the State House. The public response was amazing. In all, there were about 160 people that registered to vote, or excuse me, registered to speak, which was a vote. Yeah. And only 8 of them that registered were in favor of the proposal to dismantle Des Moines Waterworks. That room was packed with 70 of our supporters, but outside in the rotunda were another 250 people supporting our effort. How many of you folks were there that day? We defined the battle clearly. We were going to fight. We were launching an offensive to keep safe drinking water and the delivery of it out of the hands of politicians. We also launched a phone banking effort directed at the Republican leadership pushing this bad bill, and it all worked. That bad bill was dead on arrival. It never made it to the floor for debate. And this counteroffensive was indeed people-powered, because we stood up and said, you will not take local control away from us. We will not let an industrial hog producer, the Farm Bureau, Big Ag, all the corporate land developers leverage their interests against our demand for local control of our drinking water. And I'm here to tell you today, we will not relinquish this fight to complacency. I am here today to testify that we are ready to stand steadfast should they attempt another hostile takeover of Des Moines Waterworks. This is our resolve. This is our fight. Bring it on, corporate ag. Bring it on, Farm Bureau. Bring it on, Republicans. And bring it on, Des Moines City Manager Scott Sanders, who turned his back on us, Des Moines residents, and he supported that bad bill. That's right. Bring it, because we are ready, and that is why I have applied for the open seat on the Des Moines Waterworks Board of Trustees.
We deserve to have control over what happens in Iowa, in our lands, in our water. We deserve to have neighbors and friends that practice different religions, have different identities, look different than ourselves. And in order to have the Iowa that we all want, we need more members. We have to grow power, and the only way to win on these issues is through people power. They have organized money, we need organized people. And the way that we're going to do that is by having more members across the state. So I'm going to introduce Tim Glaza and John Noble, who are launching a membership canvas, and they'd like to share some stuff with you.
What's up, everybody? My name's Tim Glaza.
My name's John Noble.
And we're Iowa CCI's rip-roaring, turn-cutting, people-powered canvas team.
We're out on the doors. We're talking to lots of new members. We're raising money for Iowa CCI's justice causes, and we're shifting the narrative on agriculture in Iowa.
That's right, we're talking to people every day at their doors about Iowa's water crisis. We have 22 billion gallons of manure from over 9,000 factory farms. Do you think that's right?
And Iowa's politicians think that we should be paying for those spills with our tax dollars, with our public utilities. You want to pay for that?
No! But we know we can build an Iowa where public officials work with us, not with corporate ag. Do you want to build that kind of Iowa?
Yeah! You ready to fight like hell for a clean water future?
Yes! And so are the people we talk to every day at the doors. Hey, John,
Yeah.
How many new members have we signed up since mid-March? About 100?
Feels like more than 100. I don't know.
All right. 250?
No, it's definitely more than 250.
Huh, okay. Is it 400?
No, it's more than 400.
Okay, all right. How many new members have we signed up, John?
479 new members.
That's great to hear. Thanks so much. So, signing up new members at the door allows us to have conversations, with people face to face. We've talked to over 2,900 people at their doors. Allows us to sign up new members, raise money from everyday people, and to build people power. Thanks so much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
Thanks, everybody.
So since the last election, I've been hearing a lot of people talk about these are the dark times. I didn't know what to do, right? But everywhere I look across the nation and the country, I see glimpses of hope in almost every corner. In January, thousands and thousands of people mobilized for the Women's March. Here in Des Moines, 25,000 people turned out. 26,000. When they started conversations about defunding women's clinics, we were there showing up at subcommittee hearings. Yeah. When they tried to bury a black snake in our soil, thousands of people set up camps, faced arrest, and became clean water warriors. We fought the wall, they said a ban, we said no. They threatened to take away our organizing and collective bargaining rights, and we showed up and fought like hell. So let's give it up for all of you who are here, who've been showing up every day, resisting, making phone calls, calling your legislators, showing up at meetings, starting new groups in your homes, and who are going to get out and vote, right? Like I said in the beginning, though, we cannot stop now. We must be bold. We must elect ourselves and people who look like us and act like us and who are fearless. We must be independent and not controlled by anybody but ourselves. We must fund our own movement. They have money power, we have people power, and it's up to us to keep this movement independent and funded. I'm a proud dues-paying CCI Action member. I give to Iowa CCI Action because I know that we need to organize to win, and this is one of the best organizing groups across the country. So now I have the great pleasure of bringing up one of my 9-year-long mentors, the guy who took a risk on me and hired me to be an organizer, like when I said I had no idea what organizing was. The guy who took me under his wing and showed me how to not ask for permission. In fact, when meetings cancel, guess what? You go to their doorstep and you have the meeting anyway. This is the guy who's been a part of CCI for decades, and who is continuing to be a fearless fighter and welcoming new people to the fold all the time. Please help me welcome Hugh Espy.
I got Cardboard Bernie here. He's not outside. Bernie doesn't look good on a hat inside, so we got that, but it's CCI cap. Hey everybody, good afternoon, Iowa. Let's do this thing, people! So, I'm going to tell you a few quick stories, and then I'm going to ask you for money. It's all right, you're going to love it. It's going to be great. Hey, everybody remember Occupy back in 2011? Yeah. Right? Mic check!
Mic check!
Mic check! Big social change.
Big social change
comes from the bottom up.
Comes from the bottom up.
Not the top down.
Not the top down.
Big social change.
Big social change
comes from a people-led.
Comes from a people-led.
People power.
People power.
Grassroots movement.
Grassroots movement.
Big social change.
Big social change
means we all do better.
Means we all do better.
social change
Big social change.
starts and stops
Starts and stops.
with us,
With us.
the people.
The people.
Thank you. So, Bernie Sanders is going to tell you the same thing. Big social change starts and stops with us. Bernie Sanders never said, hey, elect me and I'm going to go to Washington, D.C. and solve your problems. He didn't say that. Bernie talked about we, not me. Bernie talked about us, not I, right? We are the hope. We are the inspiration. We are the path forward. We cannot put leaders on a pedestal and set ourselves apart from them. That's not how big social change happens. But I tell you what, that's how the political and economic elite stay in charge. That's how they divide us by race, class, and gender. So when I look at Bernie Sanders, I see myself. When I look at Alicia Garza, I see myself. When I look at Erica Andiola, I see myself. When I think about Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth and Frederick Douglass and Rosa Parks, that's right, and Dorothy Day and Emma Goldman, I see myself. And when we think about all the great prophets throughout human history, we see ourselves. We are them and they are us. Connected and unified in a common struggle to get to the promised land. I want to get to the promised land. And I'm an atheist. I love the promised land. I want to get to the promised land. So how do we get to the promised land? Well, Moses and his crew knew how to get to the promised land. Moses did not